What's the longest album you've listened to? Maybe 16 songs, 30, 100? Or what if I told you I sat down and listened to an album for 9 hours and 30 minutes, with a total of 199 songs, one of which being 22 minutes long. One Wayne G is Mac DeMarco's 6th album, if you even want to give it that title. It was released in the April of 2023, and it's a compilation of songs that encapsulates his musical journey from 2018 to 2023.
It's a self-portrait, and that's essentially what One Wayne G is, 5 years of me.
But why even release an album this long and mysterious? It's mostly instrumentals with a few exceptions, but they all have a lo-fi calm ambiance to their atmosphere. And a lot of people even label the album as study music. Before we go deeper in why this album exists and the strange style that it has, I think it's important for you to know what the album's title One Wayne G means. It in no way is a serious or deep title similar to the album, but it just gives some insight on the reason for the album and the character that Mac DeMarco is. The title One Wayne G is a playful reference to the Canadian hockey legend Wayne Gretzky, who wore the iconic jersey number 99, hence 199 songs. Gretzky's nickname was the Great One, which Mac twisted to be one, then Wayne Gretzky. One Wayne G. Maybe meaning there's only one. Basically, it's Mac's classic sense of humor, randomness, and Canadian pride stuffed into one title. So do what you will with that information. Oh, and every song is named after a date, starting May 12, 2018 and ending January 14th, 2023, which is inspired by Ryuichi Sakamoto, who passed away a month before the album released.
So I was like, well, I'm going to put out 9 hours, and most of it won't have song titles, it'll just have dates. And that's an idea actually borrowed from Ryuichi Sakamoto, who passed away recently, God bless his soul. Great hero of mine. But
Kendrick Lamar also does a similar thing with his Untitled album. The album has a range of feelings throughout the songs. Some of them feel more upbeat, like track 120 or May 11, 2021. With a bit of a goofy, bouncy feeling to it, a bit like Kevin MacLeod, and others like February 2nd, 2020 and December 29th, 2019, which are both 13 and 6-minute voids of whatever this is. Believe it or not, to me, these two songs still feel like they belong on the same album. I don't know what it is, but there's something that makes all of these songs just feel like a Mac DeMarco instrumental or track. We still don't really know why he wanted to release this project, and it doesn't commercially make sense to release it, because there's barely any hit potential in the music. There's a few songs that are definitely more finished than the others, like they were supposed to be on one of his other albums, like This Old Dog. An example of one of these songs, which is also the most streamed song on the album, is October 9th, 2019, or nicknamed I Like Her.
I'd give the world to her.
And it has 144 million streams on Spotify, and is by far the most polished and structured song on the album, yet it still fits with the chaotic, unstructured instrumentals. So why release such a long, almost messy project? Well, he describes it perfectly in this interview.
when you're making music all the time, you make certain stuff and then it sits there and it kind of percolates for months and months and months. But it's always there and it's always going, don't forget about me. Like, when are you going to put me on an album? But I have a problem with, if I'm going to write something, I need to move forward. You know what I mean? So to have things on the shelf whispering to me like that, it's like, no. So that the 199 thing was a way for me to be like, I like this stuff. I'd like to share it. I don't really know how. I might as well just give it all at the same time. So I think there's a part of it is that. Part of it, I think, is just kind of playing with the concept of releasing music, because even releasing music now, I think, too, is kind of funny, the way that people are making music for TikTok or really short songs or this or that or the other thing. There's like 9,000 writers on like a pop song that's very single-driven. So I was like, well, I'm going to put out 9 hours, and most of it won't have song titles, it'll just have dates.
He wanted to get all the weight of all these old tracks off his shoulders, like throwing away all your old school papers. The really interesting thing is that it actually works in his discography. He doesn't have criteria in his music, and even says that he just goes wherever his creativity leads him. And that is exactly what it means to be an artist.
I don't know. I just enjoy, I love music. Music is cool. Recording is cool.
He's just a guy who really loves music, and since you're watching this video, I know you're also a music person, which is why my store has a handful of different custom music-related clothing pieces. So if you're interested in supporting me while wearing something you're passionate about, then check out my store at shopmilostone.com or on the link in the top of the description. There's so many industry artists that just make whatever their record label tells them and only focus on the numbers rather than the actual product or the art. Every single Mac DeMarco album is different in some small way while still maintaining his sound. From the critically acclaimed album that was released in 2017, The Old Dog, to his brand new album, Guitar, he's an authentic artist, to put it simply. I don't exactly recommend listening to the entire album, but if you really want to, I would recommend just playing it in the background as a sort of soundtrack to your life, because that's what it's super good at doing, setting the atmosphere. His album was quite an experience, but listening to it as I lived my life was an enjoyable time, and it really lets you understand Mac DeMarco, because he even said the album sort of represents him, 5 years of his life in an album. Let me know what you think of Mac DeMarco and what other music you want me to talk about. If you want some limited edition music-related merch, check out the store in the description, and after you like and subscribe, you can click one of the videos on screen to see a video better than this one.
Vibe. And and it's, for me, I like that. I like that kind of neatness about it, and it's like, people can take it however they want, but it was an important part or period in my life where I had a lot of stuff going on, and maybe, I don't know.